The following video is brutal. If you don't have thick skin and you're faint of heart, stop watching and turn it off now. Hey everyone, so we did a reaction video recently and we have one coming up right now that you're about ready to watch. We got a little bit of criticism from people. They said we were trying to ride coattails. We were just jealous of the people that we were reacting to. That is not true, but if you choose to believe that, I understand why you'd say that. The reason I get so upset during these reaction videos is I believe so many people on YouTube are committing what I consider to be financial manslaughter. They're not intending to hurt you or kill your portfolio, but they are doing so. They are not giving you a process. All they're doing is following the hype of everyone else. They are saying things that many videos later, they contradict completely. And this burns me up. I understand these people are probably good people, but when I make reactions about them, I'm talking about their professional expertise in the area. They have none. What we have found is that even now in this booming bull market, we still have people leaving these hype investors and these hype channels to come to us because they're looking for a process. We have software, we have a process. We love our channel and our subscribers, and we love teaching a process and learning from everybody involved. We cannot stand selling hype, and we find that in every bull market, if you look at history, there will always be people that we perceive to be scam artists. Are they intentional? The vast majority are not being intentional. I get that. And I know my words sound mean, but it is my duty in my eyes to call people out that I think are committing financial manslaughter. We are here looking after the average person because we believe that a lot of stock channels out there on YouTube and just financial planners in general are misleading their followers and their investors. And we're here to call that out.
Everybody, welcome to Everything Money. It's Seth, of course, your handsome host. I'm here with Paul and Mo. We're doing something different again. We did a reaction video about a week ago, and it got the rave reviews. Paul, welcome. Good to see you. And Mo is here as well. Paul does not watch videos. Now, I would say he has seen snippets of Stock Mo in the past. A lot of you have asked about him. Mo, I'm sure you're a nice guy, and you sound like a good person. And your fundamental analysis, I'm going to show you a video. This is we've gone over Workhorse, okay? This was an enormous hype stock a few months ago, not years, months ago. This was this company in Cincinnati, very few employees. They were set to get the UPS contract to deliver electric vehicles, Paul. This is the company that could hardly make 5 vehicles in a day. I don't even know if they
remember when it was like these guys are on their way to making hundreds of. Is that the same one?
hundreds of vehicles.
Yeah.
So they did not get this contract for UPS. The stock price plummeted, and they've basically been out of the news ever since. I bring this up because you and I did a video, Mo was here too, about the fundamentals of Workhorse, and there were none. And so I begged you, how could someone talk so much about this company? And so when you rely on this hype of these hype companies, you just have to keep saying it and saying it and saying it. So sure enough, a lot of his followers probably believe this. And so this is Stock Mo's thoughts just before this contract. And I like to give Paul's thoughts because my friend Stock Mo here, he claims this is fundamental analysis. He sticks to the bread and butter of fundamentals. So, Paul, I present to you.
Can I make a comment?
Go ahead.
I will say this over and over. Every single investor out there, if you ask them if they're a value investor, they say they're a value investor. If you ask them if they're a fundamentals investor, they're a fundamental investor. But look at what they do, not what they say. Okay? Look at what they do, not what they say. Okay, let's watch this. And I don't watch videos, by the way, except for I like watching music videos. I like watching comedy. And you guys send me videos, and it's usually bad videos. And by the way, you still have to watch that Chris Stefano video because you're wrong on that one.
I have watched it as well. So
it's phenomenal.
We're getting off topic. Here we go, Paul. Welcome. We're going to skip ahead to some parts. He does a little salesmanship in the beginning, but we'll get after it here.
A little different. One of the commenters wanted to see something. He gave me a good hint. Here we go.
Commenters?
I am a former stockbroker and financial planner. Now I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. I teach college level and high school level investing, finance, and all those good classes that deal with this stuff. And I think we do pretty well. So what I do in my spare time is I take all that money and I invest it. And I like to share all these investments online here with you. And hopefully I make lots of money. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am no longer licensed, but I am trying to make
So wait a second. Entertainment purposes only, but I'm a teacher. I'm doing this. Got it. Noted.
Cash with my money. I don't want to go to work every day and not. So all I ask in return, hit the subscribe button, become part of the family here. We've grown in the last 9 weeks.
Let me fast forward to the good stuff here.
So he,
Okay, can we go to the licensing thing real quick?
I thought he was a teacher, like a real teacher, not a fake one.
I
I thought he was like a high school teacher.
think he was. At some
No, he
point.
said he was a financial planner, which means he sold insurance, by the way.
And
But
can we go to the licensing thing? So somebody in the Bidnast Nation said because Paul and I do not have licenses, this and that maybe we're not qualified to be doing this, and they don't know if they
Oh.
want to listen to us. This guy has a license.
well, he said he's not licensed anymore.
Well, he was licensed.
I know.
It doesn't matter. This is what you're getting when you get these licenses. So
200
I digress.
people to over 125,000. It just blows my mind to think about
It's almost
that.
a half a
but
million
it's for
now.
good reason. We make money. That's what we do. So if you need some free money, I got the Weeble link down below where you put
Versus
$100
pushing
in, they
Weeble,
give you
baby.
3 free stocks.
By the way, Weeble
I
has
did
reached
it. I
out to
got
us
some great
twice
stocks.
now,
I know a lot of
and I
people,
still
some of the
refuse.
patrons over at the Patreon, one of them got
Every
over $100 something
channel does
stock.
Weeble
I got an
and
Apple stock. I thought that was cool. So I would highly recommend that. 2 of the stocks are 8 to 1600, so you can get 3,200 in free stocks there, and one I believe
About
is 2
450.
250
Okay.
plays. I usually do all fundamentals, but it's going to be a mix of half
Yeah,
and half
you do a lot
today.
of fundamentals.
There you go.
And you'll get my daily bulletin. You'll
go.
get all my stock picks I do, and you can join us at the Discord where we
So
have
I want to make a
thousands
comment
of people
that
that, we
he
just
pushes the
discuss stock.
Discord and the Patreon a lot, which I like. So when I get told like Paul, pump the brakes, I mean,
And he does it first too. We like to do it, try and do it last. Give and then ask.
All day,
he
all
does.
night.
I don't think it's anything
Always.
wrong
We
with
have
it.
tons of
And he has nothing
channels.
to offer.
It is a world
we
that
offer
you
a ton.
have
We
to
have
see
software.
to appreciate. Now let's get into today's stuff.
Let's get into it.
I want to talk about Workhorse.
fundamentals
I
of
know they
Workhorse.
came out and they had some earnings. I'm going to discuss the earnings. I'm going to discuss some technical plays. I usually do all fundamentals, but it's going to be a mix of half and half today. I want to talk about what they announced during the earnings and just where I see this stock going, because I actually see big things for Workhorse.
Do
I'm a
you?
big fan of theirs. I
the
think they
moon,
have
babe.
some huge opportunities going forward. I think this company, with contract or no contract for the USPS, is going in the right direction and will be very successful moving forward. They're growing nicely, and I like what I'm seeing in revenue, and we're going
I
to see
hate
that
him.
their
Are you gonna
earnings
tell
and
us
all that. I'll get right.
He's going to tell us revenue. Now, folks, remember this is
In fairness, Seth, we
on.
make mistakes too. We're going to have bad investments as well. But what I'm trying to discuss here is the fact that
the process.
his process is absolutely
is
stupid. There's no.
Let's keep going.
To it. Why don't we just get into it?
Get into
This is
it.
where I'm going to have some graphs down here, some other things I want to show you. But let's just talk about the numbers that just came out. Overall for Q3, they had a 564,000 in revenue, and in Q2 they only had 91,000 in revenue. So they
91
killing it.
91 grand in revenue, Paul.
increased the revenue by roughly 6 times. So I was really
that.
enjoying that. That's a good number. It makes me feel better. I know
good.
that's what I'm looking for. Now, the only thing that concerns me is the loss. In Q2, they lost 6.99 million. In Q3, they lost 9.82 million. A little bit more, but we get that. It's a growing
do.
company, and you have those growth pains. I've
Why
always
is it
said
bothering
that for
you?
like
Yeah.
companies like Neo, companies like Workhorse, even Tesla. Think Tesla going through the days. And I want to tell you something. For those here, remember Amazon, when they worked their way up, Jeff Bezos, he said it's for the long term, and that we are here for the long term. Bear
Well, I mean,
with
companies
me,
like
you
Amazon,
will be
then.
rewarded down the road.
Even
As
though
long as they
Amazon-
as long as they repeat
Workhorse
what
could
Amazon
be-
says, they're the same thing as Amazon. Just like when they quote Warren Buffett, they obviously are a value investor.
Even though Amazon was like the only one that's come out of there back in the day.
company
Correct.
that we stay with them. I'm a long-term investor with Workhorse.
So again, this
By the
is
way, you know
not
what I
a
want to find
trade.
out? Does he own Workhorse currently?
Yeah, this is not trading, folks. This is
Who's in his Discord?
long-term-
Can somebody tell us because he reveals his ownership. I want to
Yeah.
know if he still has Workhorse.
Yeah, this is long term, so we must be looking at long term growth fundamentals.
So why is he looking at short term?
So he should be in this for the long haul, right?
I'll
then
be
why is-
staying
why is
with
he
them
talking about the short
well
term?
after any announcement with the
don't know.
contract. I just want to see how they do. I'm a big fan, and I think
What makes you
I
a
think
big
they'll do-
fan?
The 5 cars they can almost produce a day, the 8,000 back order they had.
And the USPS contract, whether it happens or not, keep going.
Really
And
doesn't
I like
matter
the
if
growth
it's
I'm
fast.
seeing. I like where they're going. It's a feel good story, and I like
The
to be a part of
growth?
it. So their earnings increased.
I think we had 3
40.51%.
companies that grew faster than his, and then Workhorse in the last quarter.
All right, let's go.
1%, which is good. And like I said, the overall loss was 9.82 million, and it is what it is. Now, the analyst came out and thought they would have a loss of 10 cents a share, ended up with 78 cents loss per share. And so that's it. You know,
That's
the
it.
numbers came out. They're a young company, and they are what they are. But what I like is
we
the
on
graph. So
technicals
we'll take
now?
a look at
What's
the
the
graphs.
market cap?
I'm going to get into that technical analysis
matter.
now. We're going to talk
Here
a little
comes
bit
Paul.
because to me, this is a lot of this is rolling with the EV industry altogether.
So in general, Workhorse did get as high as 41 after this video, which I guess if you're trading it, Mo, is a nice gain. It's currently $12.50 after it did not get the contract.
I'm more interested if Stockmo still owns the shares.
Let's keep going.
Contract doesn't come, and you see the fall. And right in here is where it got to a base that I had a number in my own head that this company should be valued at. And for stock price, it hit that. And I did buy it for my own portfolio.
Oh, exact
And
bottom.
for
Good
those
for
over
him.
the Patreon, they were notified of that purchase. And since that purchase, we are up over 19% on Workhorse, and I continue to hold.
So
The nice thing about that is, after I announced my purchase of it, I found out later after that the ARK came out with it. ARK, the ARKQ fund came out and bought Workhorse. Now they bought a little bit more than I bought. They bought 1 million shares. I don't buy 1 million shares. I wish I could, but I can't. But they did buy
No,
1
'cause
million
you'd be
shares, and I thought, boy, that's some great minds thinking alike right there. We both see the value.
this is great.
Great minds.
Is it bad to say I really don't like this guy?
So this guy, we don't know at this point.
I'm sure he's a nice person,
but he should
but
be.
he's a moron.
I mean,
he better be still holding this.
if you're
because-
commenting below, if you've made it this far, you're probably, we get the comments, well, why would you do this? What's the point of this? The feedback we get from the people who then find us after this BS say they lost a lot of money on this. So when you go on YouTube and you find someone with 500,000 viewers saying this,
Well, it's not
gonna
even about losing money, Seth. Guys, any individual stock you can make money and lose money on, and it can be a flip of a coin. It's about having the right process so that over long periods of time, you make the right decisions. Stockmo is talking about, he's a long-term investor. No, he's not. No, he is not. He's not a long-term investor. He hasn't talked about the long run at all. He just says, I'm in this for the long haul. Well, tell us why Workhorse has the potential for long-term gains. There's been nothing said.
let's keep going.
In this
there's
company,
more?
And I would
we
like
both
to
see the
find
long term.
more.
We're not in it for day trading. People who watch this channel need to know that any companies I'm buying, I see, and my numbers and everything I'm seeing about these companies are positive. I see good things. We're nothing but a positive channel here. You're not going to ever see anything negative. I don't come out.
Well, we're being negative about
down
you,
talk
so
anybody. I like to leave the
counterbalance.
world, leave it a little bit better than we found it. And
you're going to leave the
that
world
goes
a
for
lot broker than you found it, pal.
companies that are young, and I see very big potential for Workhorse. I like their product.
You know, Paul, I didn't know he made himself this clear about how this is such a long-term play. I thought he was hopefully saying we can make some money, because the comments below say you're very disciplined, and dang it, Paul, you don't have to be this disciplined. As you trade with Mo, you can make money, can be made on the up and down.
I'm not, guys. My method of making money and Mo's are totally different. You can be. The point is, if you're disciplined, you're gonna be disciplined whichever route you take. That's the point. This schmucko, instead of stock Mo, how about stock moron?
All right, here we go.
See good things. But we are up almost 20%. I got it at 19.47%. ARK Q has 1 million shares, which is awesome. That means they must be up around 19 to 20% as well.
Oh, wow.
And so I always appreciate ARK. I think that is a wonderful company over there. And I always highly recommend their ARKK fund. I like that one with the Tesla in there. But you know,
they're doing so good this year.
ARKQ isn't bad either. They got the Workhorse and some other fine companies.
They got
in
the
there.
Workhorse.
So as we get in here, I did want to show you this once again. Let's just take a look at the last month. And I think in this area is where we've popped in because it got down to that level. It was just ridiculously too low. And just and they jumped up, and
Based on
this
what?
is something
Yeah,
a
based
lot of
on
people say,
7
well, coming
million
back,
in
the
loss or
earnings,
whatever it was.
I actually
Revenue of
don't attribute
500,000?
to
Now
that.
it's lower than this. So
I understand that. I don't think
He should be
it
going
was
all
that
in now.
Should be
bad
buying-
of a call.
putting
But when
everything
we
in.
get into this is what I want to show you.
I would love to see
So
him
if we
in
take a
that
look
watch
at these last couple of days, this is the down part of that chart I just showed you. I want to compare it to
trading view,
Neo
right?
because I want you to see. This is Neo. You can see the rise and down. And if we go back to Workhorse, the rise and down. Obviously, it's not going to look identical, but you can see what I'm talking about.
I don't see what you're
both
talking
So this is a
about.
5-minute
going
chart. He's trying
very
to day
similar
trade this.
directions, and you can see the recovery at the end, You
what
can
does
go
this
down
mean?
and see the
Also, why
recovery
is he
at the
showing
end.
5
So
minute
to
chart?
me,
He's
when I
showing
look at
days on
Workhorse
that.
and I think to myself, what kind of potential do we have with this company moving
Wait a
forward?
second, pause it.
And I'm talking
He literally said, we're not here to day trade. We're here for long term. And what's this right here?
This is each one of those candles that you see on there.
Look at the bottom time. It's all.
Yeah, each one of those
you
candles
sure?
is a 5 minute candle right there, 5 minutes.
Oh my God, he does have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're right. So he says, anyways, go ahead. Keep going.
stockholders. If you're going to get into this, I do feel that there's going to be some volatility, good or bad, in the next 6 weeks. And that's because there's a
So is
lot of
that
people
long-term?
expecting some kind of announcement for the contract.
Pause it real quick,
coming
would
up.
you? You know who's a long-term investor?
Go on.
Warren Buffett. Would you ever hear Warren Buffett talk about 6 weeks from now?
He talks about 100 years in the past, like
Literally,
trends.
he literally says, my holding time is forever. I don't like, just because you guys, this is a very common thing. I once sat at a panel with a billionaire and he kept quoting Warren Buffett. And I finally stopped him and said, you keep quoting Warren Buffett, yet you're investing. He talked about how you have to go to markets where nobody's at. His investments in real estate were in New York City, Miami, Dallas, LA, and Chicago. And I said, where nobody's going? No, but I'm going to submarkets within there where nobody's going. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like literally, just because you quote somebody and just because you say you're long-term doesn't make you long-term. And the reason I bash guys like this is because I look at this as fraud. I know you might sit there and say it's crazy because it's not malicious. But if you learn from this guy, you will end up losing a lot of money in the long run. Absolutely.
Or you already have.
When you're watching our channel, tell me how much I sit there and talk about earnings report every quarter. In fact, when people give me credit, hey, Paul, I bought the stock and 6 weeks later I'm up 30%. What do I always say? I say, don't give me credit for that. I literally say, stop giving me credit for that. Give me credit 5, 10, 15 years down the road when your picks are beating the market by 3, 4, 5%. That's when you give me credit. When your process is better. This guy is a moron. For all of you little dainty folks out there who say, don't be mean to this guy. Why are you going to stoop to this level of bashing him? Because this is wrong, guys.
It's wrong.
It's no different than an open heart surgeon, somebody coming on and going, hey, just give me a knife. There's some aortas over here and there's a valve right here. And I think that's wrong. It's just absolutely wrong,
Keep
guys.
going.
I'm in this company for the long term. I'm feeling good
Oh, would
about
you
it. I
shut
think
up,
they're
you
going in the
doofus.
right direction. I love seeing those the revenue getting increased. That's what I'm looking for.
Pause.
I really wish he'd
What's the
define
market
long-term.
cap of Workhorse right now? What is the market cap? Because guys, the revenue the quarter he was talking about was 500,000. So you analyze that, it's 2 million.
1.6 billion.
So show me how many companies are worth 1.6 billion that have $2 million in revenue. What's Workhorse's revenue now? Do you know what Workhorse's revenue is even in the last 12 months? This is early in the year, so we still have. What's the revenue? Do you have it? Does anybody have it? The whole point is, guys, companies that have $1.6 billion market cap tend to have $500 to $1 billion in revenue. This guy here is talking about 500,000 in a quarter, 2 million for the year, and he's bragging about the revenue growth. This is a prime example of what I talk about every video. You're overpaying for revenue growth. Just because it's growing doesn't mean it's going to grow forever. And they lost everything hinged on one deal, and they lost it.
So,
Do you have revenue at all?
what do you have, Mo?
December 2020, 650,000.
For December, that quarter. What about for
Yeah.
the year? It doesn't matter. The bottom line is, call it high side $10 million, which is not going to be 10 million. Call it 5 million, whatever it is. It's still an insane number. It's 160 to 1 on sales. If you believe that's a good investment, guys, just please ignore me. Just literally block me on your channel. Just write, how do I block everything money? Because this Paul guy's a moron. Because honestly, I don't want you watching us. Because if you really try to defend this, by the way, if you say I'm being mean, fine. I am being mean. I do think the guy's a moron. I'm sure he's a nice person, and that's fine. But he is leading the role. Everything, literally, I don't think there's a single thing in there that I actually agree with.
Here we go.
See that in a growing company, so I want to get in on the ground floor, and I like this company. So it's a good.
Pause
like
it.
I said,
Ground floor, $1.6 billion valuation. That's the ground floor. How many shares outstanding do they have? I guarantee they're increasing their shares outstanding. This guy's a moron. Press play.
story, and I think it's going to have a lot of positive, happy endings in it. And so now,
think this guy needs a happy
where do I
ending.
see this stock going? And of course, it would be the icing on the cake
Here's his big
If
prediction,
they
Paul.
do get a little piece of that contract, which I'm really hoping they do, I don't know how much it would be, but just a little piece of that contract from the
didn't get it
USPS
right.
to help this
didn't get
clean energy company get out there and continue to grow. Now they are, I know they're getting their orders already. They're doing well with the orders they're receiving.
That's false. They were not doing well. They have a huge back order, and they can't
And not
produce
only
the
that,
cars.
$600,000 in revenue. How many cars is that in a quarter? They're not doing well with their orders
No,
they're receiving.
no, they're
That's
not.
just not possible.
Here we go.
But it would be nice to get that big, large, part of that $6 to $8 billion contract. It depends who you're talking to with that. And
Pause.
it would
The average car company is selling for like 30% of their revenue. If they got the entire $6 billion contract, if they were GM or Ford or anybody, it would be worth $1.8 billion. And it was repeated over and over again. So he's saying part of it, I think they need the entire contract to be justifying, and they need to be able to implement it immediately to be able to justify the current valuation of what it is right now.
Here we go.
nice to get a piece of that. And I think even without it, they're going to be fine long term, but they would take a hit in the stock price because there are a lot of people out there who are day trading this, expecting to
no.
make big.
What is he talking about?
No.
I
No.
don't know. I don't understand how he just
No.
keeps swinging from long term to whatever.
He
that
just
means
says
for
a lot
him,
of things.
to
It's like
day trading.
It's like the
to-
insurance salesman, friend of Darnell's, who one day used the word depreciation when trying to sell me insurance. And I said, "What does depreciation have to do with insurance?" And he immediately was like, "People try to say a lot of things that sound smarter than they are." Oh my God, this guy is such a
if they get
financial
an
planner. It
announcement
hurts my
that they got
face.
this contract. If they don't get the contract, you'll see them go down a little bit. And
A little bit.
You'll go down more than half.
They dropped 47% one day.
In fairness, they're down 33% from when he said it. So
but you will see them scratch
That's a little
and
bit, then
claw
he
their
must be
way
loaded.
back up and get that stock price back up to a decent level as the years go on. I always say give a company 3 to 5 years, watch their growth in the.
And why are you
Only 3
looking
to
at their
5
numbers?
years. He goes from a long term being 6 weeks to day trading on a 5-minute chart
I always
3
look
to
at 5 years. Yeah, I'm sure you do.
It's pretty confusing if I was a new investor.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's
No,
not.
if you're a new investor, you're eating this all
You're
up.
confused because you're listening to what we're saying.
Yeah, no, this guy's getting people. I mean, he's literally fishing a barrel over here. He's
Yep.
just like throwing the line out in the barrel. And he's catching fish like crazy. Why? Because if I didn't know anything, I'd be like, yeah, this guy looks at him. He's looking at the future. He's looking at this. He's saying all these things that only an astute person would know is stupid. Like if all of a sudden, let's say I sat down and made up a bunch of medical terms, and I got a crowd of 100 people who've never been a doctor, and I just started making up comments. What would people say? I'm like, man, this guy really knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Look at these medical terms. I made them all up. No difference here. He's just bringing things that people talk about and saying them and going, oh, this is good.
See quarter to quarter, they're doing well, and I continue to see them doing
They're not
better
doing
and better
well.
and better. So I am big on them, and I do own them, and I do have my money in there. So I hope everybody sees where I see Workhorse going, because I know a lot of people keep asking me, "What about Workhorse? What about Workhorse? Do you own Workhorse?" I do. I do own Workhorse. I bought it. Well, I think the same day ARC did, but now we are all in there, and you see some big people out there who
Does
like
ARC
to
still
study
own it?
these
ARC
clean energy.
It's ARKQ is the one he was
let's
saying.
take a look.
Let's look up and see if ARC still owns it, and how much what percentage of their portfolio is Workhorse. I was actually going to say earlier, why aren't they in the main ARC fund?
Yeah, ARKK.
Yeah, they're saying ARK. He was saying ARKQ.
So I'm looking in their top holdings right now. They do not have it in their top holdings.
Okay, what's the smallest holding of their top holdings? Like what percentage?
3.2%.
Oh,
Komatsu,
how many holdings in their top holdings? 10.
10.
Okay.
Here we go.
Companies all buying it, and you know what? Go out there. Of course, this is all for entertainment.
cat
Talk
he
to
owns has no
professionals, see
idea
what they
that
say. But
his owner's
having a
a
position
moron.
of this isn't a bad thing. I mean, you're seeing some of the big portfolios out there doing the same thing. I felt the same way. I thought
Yeah,
it was
follow
a
the big
very good
portfolios.
company
That's
to
the
put in
smart
there
money,
for
right,
high
guys?
growth,
The internet
and
funds
they
of
have not
2000, the
disappointed
real
me.
estate funds of
And
2007.
Believe it or not, I was pleased with their Q3. I get the loss per share, but I was more excited about the increase in revenue
Yep.
and some other things.
Yep.
And
What other
that's
things?
where we're at. So I appreciate everybody stopping by. Make sure you
So, Paul, you're in luck. I just pulled up an update from Stock Mode. This is after the huge crash. This is 2 months later after the previous video. This is from March 12th, about a month ago, 5 weeks ago. So here his new position, Paul.
Can we recap? Let's just remember what he said in the January video. He said, I'm in this long term, even if they don't get the United States Postal Service contract. I believe in this company long term. I bought it 15, he said, because he saw it was a great time to buy about what the company's worth. So let's keep on going.
Here we go.
NASDAQ, I was hoping that would outperform that a little bit, so we'll see. Let's take a look at Workhorse and see what we have here. You will see when we look at this right now, the analysts, now this is about 2 weeks ago, but you can see where they have nothing here, just a hold, no price from Oppenheimer. And when we look down here at the other two, you can see 29 and 15, they average together 16.50. I personally think this stock could do well, but based on the pros, this is what we're seeing. I thought it would get up there to 20 to 25 by the end of this year because of the backlog, because of the expansion into the EV market, if you will.
Are you okay, Paul?
I really don't like this person.
He thought it would get up there, with the expansion.
He had no reason to believe
the backlog.
That. By the way, that means he should have sold it at $47. If he thought it was going to get to 25, that's what he thought the value was.
Oh, yeah, it was
basically. He should have sold it at $42. Mm-hmm. He should have been like, why am I even holding this thing anymore? It's worth, because nothing's changed. If anything, it only got worse.
Absolutely.
And he literally said, I'm in this for the long haul.
Yeah.
And he sold 2 months later.
Here you go.
By Biden saying, I want all the federal fleet being EVs and clean energy and all that good stuff. So I thought there's going to be some momentum to see good moves for Workhorse moving forward.
Time out. Pause. He talked about momentum, but he also says, I'm a fundamental investor. I don't trade. But he talks about momentum. Guys, listen to these words. This is why I get mad. This is exactly why I get mad. He has no idea what he's talking about. He is stupid.
Here we go.
They're running tight now. They have good orders coming in. So we will see how this works out. I did think there was some upside.
I'll tell you
potential.
exactly how it's going to work out.
This is one where I sold, took the tax loss.
Here he goes, Paul. This is important, Paul.
Works out. I did think there was some upside potential. Now, this is one where I sold, took the tax loss, waiting 30 days so I can avoid the wash sale, and we'll be looking to re-enter.
He has
this
no
position
idea what he's talking about.
If
what? No, you ran into the position if what?
The price is attractive, and I see good things happening. So that's where I'm at with this one.
Time out. Pause it. Explain to us what the price being attractive would be then. It's very easy. If you know there's an attractive price, tell us where. What's the price that you would pay? He has no idea what he's talking about. He's absolutely misleading people. He's absolutely a moron. He literally said in January, whether they get the USPS contract or not, this is still a long-term great company. I like what I see. Revenue's up. The backlog is good. He said the backlog was good.
If you're one of his patrons, you know he trades on fundamentals, and all of these are long-term holds.
But he just sold it already.
He literally said all of my positions are long-term holds.
Yep, but he sold it already. Because why? Because bad news came out. He doesn't believe this stuff. He doesn't even understand what he's doing,
He doesn't know what he's doing at all.
He's no different than you guys.
And you made a great point. He said it's a good play at $20 to $25, right? It went to 41. Your position basically doubled. Why were you not exiting?
No value investor in the world would not. I shouldn't say that.
When Southwest went to where it did with us, went so quickly, we were like,
I thought Southwest was worth 50 to 60 when it was stabilized. It got to 47, sold it.
And it was so fast
because it wasn't stabilized yet. The economy hadn't recovered yet. They're still at full capacity. Done. And guess what? It went to 65. Guess how much I care? I don't care. I don't care. And by the way, when I bought it was at 25, I was hoping it was going to go lower. I kept telling people, I'm buying it when it goes lower. And it went straight up to 47. I was like, okay.
If you're new to investing and this all confuses you, you should be, because this guy's all over the place. And for the 470,000 people who are watching him, be careful.
For the 470,000 people who are watching him, I want you to assume this is a cliff right here. Look at my desk. This is a cliff. Can we put this lower? We're not going to. The cliff is you lemmings going like that. Here's Stock Mo talking. It's you lemmings paying him $100,000 a month in Patreon. He's going to jump up like his friend Kathy Wood.
We'll use our phones.
He goes like this. He goes like this. Here's Stock Mo. He jumps with his millions of dollars, and you guys all fall and crash and die. And he lands right here going, oh, well, turns out the market was wrong, and this happened, and I didn't see
blame
X
the suits.
Blame everybody. He's going to blame everything under the sun except for his complete moronic dead brain.
That's what take on Stock Mo. Sorry, bro. Come on the show and tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah, by the way, Stock Mo, I will pay for a private jet ride for you to come out here, meet me face to face, and talk fundamentals. That's how serious I am, but I'm not afraid of anything. Anybody knows him, private jet ride wherever he's from. I've never even been in a private jet, and I'll pay for his private jet ride to come here and talk to me about fundamentals.
That's what take. Tickle the thumbs up. I love you. Bye, guys.
Oh, I hate this guy.
He is a moron.